All right, looks like Holgar is first. Says hello there, working with a client who owns one company and then a few smaller websites, which are sub brands of the main company. I have organization schema in place for the main company, but thinking how I should add schema to the sub brand sites. Can I just create organization schema, or can I somehow reference the parent brand? Do you have any links to documentation? Yeah, Adam, we have, can you drop the link in comments, maybe reply to Holgar with Rob's schema course, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so, sorry, what was it again?
It's Rob's schema course.
Holgar. Oh, right. Yeah, let me go grab that.
Yeah, if you can just reply to him and drop that link. I would encourage anybody that has any questions about any sort of schema stuff, again, either join the Heavy Hitter Club, because that's where Rob and Marco go into great detail about all that kind of stuff during their webinars and in their Facebook group. So that's really the technical SEO group, or buy Rob's schema course, because it is hands down, from what I understand. I haven't taken a lot of schema courses, but I haven't even been all the way through Rob's yet, to be honest with you. But from what I understand and the feedback that we've heard, it's the best schema course available. So I would encourage you to check that out. You're going to learn so much from that course that I've never seen talked about anywhere else. He talks about node referencing and all this incredible stuff, and he gives you schema templates that you can use. So it's really, really powerful. In fact, what Rob talked about schema during POFU Live last year, so for 2020, and that is what got me kind of obsessing about SEO all over again, was his presentation about schema, because I realized I had really not, I had only scratched the surface of what was capable, and he really opened up my eyes. So that's what I would recommend. I can, with the limited information you've given in this question, it's going to depend on, you said the other websites are like sub-organizations of the main brand. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, you could have organization for the main brand, and then you could use, I forget what the term would be. It might even be sub-organization for the other location or the other brands, because a lot in schema and organizations, or in some of, like, for example, like local business schema, which is a subset of organization schema, right? It's like a subcategory of organization schema. And then in local business schema types, there are a whole bunch of different kinds, like home and construction business, which is what I use a lot. Professional services is another. But in local business schema, it talks about there's a field that you can designate parent organization. So, and I don't know that you didn't mention whether this is for a local business or not, Holgar. So again, I'm just using this as an example. If you have sub organizations or other, you call them sub brand sites that are local businesses that are part of a parent organization, right? Then that's the way that you could reference them, right? You could do local business schema on each one of the sub organization sites, and then reference the parent organization, which would be organization schema, in your local business structured data for each individual location, if that makes sense. So that's definitely one way to do it. Now, if it's not local business, there is still ways to reference between the parent organization and sub organizations. I'm just not 100% sure how to do it, because again, all I ever do is local stuff. So, but I do I've got several brands that I work with that have multiple locations, and that's exactly what we do. We put organization schema on the homepage, and then for all of the location pages, it's all on the same website, but it would work the same, is for each one of the location pages that has its own physical location, its own GMB associated with it. They each have, on the main website, it each has its own location page, and on each location page, it has location or local business schema or structured data that references the parent organization, and essentially it's connected data, right? Where it pulls in the organization schema into the local business schema, but it's connected properly so that it's not ambiguating the main entity of each page, if that makes sense. So again, we've talked about this before, but years ago, or even, well, really up until POFU Live of last year, I would oftentimes put organization schema in the HTML header of the entire site. Okay. And then on the local business pages or the location pages, I would put local business structured data. And there was really competing schema on those pages because it wasn't connected properly or referenced properly. So Google was seeing two separate sets of schema on the page, right? One would be organization and one would be local business, or a subset of local business, like home and construction business, for example. And so what is the main entity of the page then? And there is a way to designate that as well, but the better way to do it is to have one type of schema on the page that references, the organization, if it's a, sub-organization, for example. It's just a way, it's the better way to do it so that it's not ambiguating what the main entity of the page is. And that, again, this is all taught in Rob's course. So I'd encourage you to check that out. So hopefully that makes some sense. Unfortunately, Mark is not here today. He could probably give you an answer, at least an answer that might be explained in a different way. So hopefully that makes sense. If it does not, post a follow-up question. I'll try to answer it. The short answer is go by Rob's course or join the Heavy Hitter Club, where we get into much more detail for that stuff.